Yo, well, happy Easter. Guess to celebrate, didn't do Sunday recap, kind of yap a little bit about kind of just what recently happened. Sunday's been good. It's Easter, was at church and had a big learning lesson. Um as and it's really weird because you know, going into this day, I expected family food, church, just kind of overall the regular Easter experience where, you go to church, you learn your lesson, all that kind of stuff, praise, get good faith, and then go eat and then carry on with your day. I have another dinner later, but that's beyond the point. Now I'm working, caffeinated as fuck right now, and it was really weird because at church today, guess who's there? And if you don't know, I live in Austin, Texas. And one, pretty noteworthy actor that lives here is Matthew McConaughey, and he goes to my church. So this is the first time I've ever seen him at my church too. But I've seen him around before, but I've never been, I guess, this close to someone of that status before. Because if you don't know who Matthew McConaughey is, he's a very notable actor. He's been in a lot of movies. He's made a lot of movies. He's a very um, just a notable person overall. He's been in the Grammys. He's won Grammys, Oscars, whatever it is. I think it's Oscars is acting. And anyways, though, he's famous. And it's just really weird because he's someone who I really look up to, and literally being about 10 feet away from him and seeing him at church, it's interesting because you know I'm there at church, sitting in my aisle, and he's right 10 feet away from me, and I just keep looking at him, and I'm like, bro, this guy has it all. He has the money, he has the fame, he has really in the grand scheme of things everything. He has a good family, he has kids, hundreds of millions of dollars. He's made a lot of, like, he's done very well for his life, and me and my group of family and friends were all like, "Look at Matthew McConaughey," that kind of thing. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, there's no difference right now between me and this guy who I'm looking at, who has this notable life where he's famous and he has the money, he has it all technically. Um, he's living the dream, if you want to call it that. And I'm just looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, he looks like a regular person. Like whenever he's not on screen, or where I've seen him in other places like UT football games, the Longhorns, he's very, they make a big deal out of him being there. They always get the big jumbotron screen, to face him, and you can, everyone's like making noise for him. They're all being very, celebrative, celebrating him being there, that kind of thing. And I'm at church and I'm just looking at him and I'm like, there's none of that going on. I'm looking at this guy and he looks like he just looks like any other guy. If he didn't have that fame and that authority and that image and what he has to his name, and I didn't know who he was, he would just be another regular guy. I wouldn't know who the fuck this guy is. And I'm just sitting there thinking about this. I'm like, bro, there really is zero difference between me and the guy making $1 billion a year. The only difference is, not that he's making $1 billion a year, but like, there's no difference between me and Matthew McConaughey, who's made hundreds of millions of dollars, made tons of money, has everything, has the nice house, has a nice car, has won an Oscar, has been on the Oscars. He has like the network of so many people. He's been on Joe Rogan. And I'm just looking at him, I'm like, bro, there really is no difference between me and this guy. This guy just took action at something that he loved and tried really, really hard and went all in on it and, you know, made it work for himself. Like, it's really interesting because like I keep saying, I'm just looking at him. I keep thinking, I'm like, bro, he literally looks like any other fucking guy. Like if he had no, notability to him, I wouldn't even bat an eye at him. The only reason I'm looking at him is because he's someone who I look at, regarding life. He's a very good, kind of idol or hero, if you want to call him that. And I'm just looking at him like, bro, he's right in front of me. And as I'm looking at him, I'm just like, geez, you really can do anything you want. Like, he is not special. There's nothing special about this guy that got him that success. He just took action and worked his ass off to get it. Like, and it was just motivating to see that because, when you see someone like that and you kind of begin to realize, holy shit, the only trait, the only denominator that got him to where he's at, hundreds of millions of dollars, has that at all. And then, me who is working to try to get that goal, the only denominator of that success is just working hard and going every single day. Because that's what he did. He didn't do any magic sauce. And like, I'm someone too who has listened to his podcasts. And, I'm about to read his book, and I've listened to all the podcasts that he's on numerous times. I've heard his story, and it's like just thinking about it and seeing him and really understanding that this guy is just, you know, a regular guy who just took action and went for success. That's the only thing that, like, he's just a regular guy. And especially in like a church setting where they're not going to make it on, on Easter Day as well, where they're not going to make a big deal out of him being there, obviously, because it's church. You don't really like, it's like going to your friend's wedding and trying to look all glamorous and stuff and, impress everyone. But it's like, bro, this isn't about you. You know what I mean? Like, church is not about him, it's about God. So they're obviously not going to give him, that spotlight in a setting like that. And just seeing him, in that setting is just, it's interesting. I'm like, bro, like I keep saying, there really is no fucking difference between you and me and Matthew McConaughey. The only thing is he just took action and consistency and did hard work, and he got what he wanted in return. So, it's very motivating to see that. And that's kind of, how my Sunday went. Big learning lesson. And, it's crazy because it's on Easter Sunday too. Not a coincidence, I think, at all. And I think, you know, God really wanted that message to stand clear today. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here. That's my Sunday recap. I'm making it at about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So still have, another, 9 hours, like 6 hours of my day left. But, um, you know, just wanted to come on here and do that, get this out of the way because I am going to be busy later. But yeah, um, once again, IG's in the description. If you want to talk, let's fucking do it, bro. Let's connect. I'll help you out with your own business. If you're trying to get into business, whatever it is, I help people out a lot. Just DM me. But yeah, take that lesson with, you know, take that lesson with your heart because you can really do anything you want. Um, there's no difference between you, me, Matthew McConaughey, anything. The only denominator of your success is you and taking action and putting in hard work and consistency. But yeah, that's really about it. And, it's all. Have a great Easter Sunday. Peace.